Last time we worked with the Juce audio recording example and we had our Juce app running, and this time we are going to prepare our Juce app so we can use Juce WebView. I won't get into the details of WebView. We will need a full series of tutorials to understand web views, but I can recommend a series of tutorials by Wolf Sound, and I will leave a link to his YouTube channel in the description of this video. Here I will just show some simple steps that you can do so you can use WebView in your app. First, we are going here to our Juce app and we will look at the CMakeList file, and we need to add a few things here. In the Juce Add GUI app, we need to make sure that we have here needs WebView 2 set to true. I am using Windows here, and in this case, here on target compile definitions, I need to set this Juce use win WebView 2 with static linking equals to 1. And I also will have here in the target link libraries, the Juce GUI Extra and the Juce Audio Utils. So we have our CMakeList in our Juce app folder setup. Now we can go to our main component. We can head to our main component class, and here in our private session, we can define the web browser component WebView. Now we can go to our MainComponent.cpp, and here on the constructor, we can add here the WebView, and we can use the Juce web browser component options. We can use these options to configure the web browser components later on. For now, we are going to use the Juce Backend, and we are going to use the Juce web browser component options backend WebView 2. And this will use the Chromium-based WebView 2 engine on Windows, and also with WebView 2 options, Juce web browser components options Win WebView 2, and these are options that are specific to the WebView 2 backend, and these options can be ignored if another backend is used. So this is the very basic lines that we can add so we can use our WebView. After this recording thumbnail, I could then add and make visible and add our WebView. And I can use the WebView and tell it to go to the URL, and I'll point it to localhost port 5000. And this is where our example, the audio basics example using web audio that we made in some previous tutorials, and I will run it as a Flask application running on port 5000. I'll just increase the size here. Instead of 500 by 500, I'll increase it to 600 by 600. And then on the main component resized, which is here, we can add the web view, and I'll set bounds, and I'll use the same as these other elements here. I'll use the area, and I will remove from bottom a value of 400. With these few modifications, when I run this application, we should already see our web UI inside our Juce application. What I'm going to do now is to go into another instance of VS Code, and I'll open our Flask web UI project that we have here, and I'll run it. So I have serving the Flask app in the localhost port 5000. At this point, I'll go back to the Juce app. Let's rebuild it with cmake -s.-pip build. Then we can cmake build, and then we can run our Juce WebView.x. And here we are. We have our Juce app GUI here, and we have our web audio basics application here. So far, nothing communicates with each other, but this should play. I can start recording. It's just going to record my microphone and not what is being played here. I can stop recording and I can save. So we have our Juce GUI Elements here. We have our web UI from the Web Audio Basics example here, and this is our Juce application. In our next tutorials, we are going to see how we can communicate from the Juce C++ backend to our web UI, and from our web UI to our Juce C++ backend. I see you next time.